Hello, Cancers, and welcome to this, your April 15th through April 30th reading and predictions. For those of you who are new here, thank you so much for joining. And for those of you who are returning, thank you so much for continuing to support the channel. Your last reading was a pretty powerful reading, and now we've just come through all of those energies with the eclipse, the comet flying by. mm, a certain collider being reactivated, rockets being sent up into our ionosphere. So, how are you feeling, Cancer? I'd love to hear in the comments down below. The last reading that I did for you indicated that there was something that you needed to walk away from. You had the Eight of Cups, not once, but twice. And the Eight of Cups is all about just turning your back on something and walking away. You also had the transformation card come up, indicating that you were focusing upon making a transformation and making a change in your life. So, again, I'd like to ask you guys if you've made a big change, a big shift in your life. I'd love to hear about it in the comments down below. All right, Cancer, let's dive in and start to pull some cards for you. Also, I have a request. If you wouldn't mind watching this video all the way until the end, let it play through. Two reasons for this. I'm not monetized yet. I need some more watch hours, so I would love it if you'd allow the video to play through. Also, generally, it's right around the middle of the reading when the really juicy bits come out. And finally, at the very end of this video, I will be pulling cards that have nothing but yes, no answers on them. We all walk through life asking various questions. Is he right for me? Is she right for me? Is this the right house for me? Do I move? Do I keep the job? Do I take the job? Etc. So if you are willing to put your trust in a general reading and a itty bitty deck of yes, no cards, then please stick around all the way until the end and prepare your question. Okay, Cancers, let's take a look at where you are at now. Okay, we're putting cards on the floor, apparently, according to the Osho Zen deck. I do not have any affiliate links. Okay, but if you are curious about any of the decks that I used today, just reach out with a message and I'd be happy to answer the questions. All right. What I'm going to do, because we have so many cards that jumped out, I'm going to mix up this smaller portion of the deck for you, Cancer, and see what comes out. Because if you have this much going on right now, you're a little busy and maybe overwhelmed. All right, mix them up. There's one. Anything else for Cancer? Anything else for where Cancer is now? Three more times. 1, 2, 3. Okay, where you are at now, Cancer, is you have the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is a card indicating that your battles are over. Something that you've been fighting up against, something you've been bumping up against is over. You are putting it in the past, but it has left you with a sense of exhaustion and a sense of overwhelm at this time. And the other card that you have in your where you're at now is the exciting card. It is the Beyond Illusion card. This is the card that corresponds to the number 20, the Judgment card in the Major Arcana of the Tarot. And this is a card of you sitting on the cusp of closing out. And there goes my camera again. I love Mercury retrograde. Thank you, Mercury retrograde, for at least not shutting the camera down. Beyond Illusion. This is a card that indicates that you are this close to leveling up on a soul lesson, closing out a cycle or a stage of your life. And this is a card indicating that it is time for you to see beyond the illusion, see beyond what's right in front of you, and recognize that there is more than meets the eye. But it also corresponds to the judgment card, and the judgment card is about sitting in judgment of ourselves, not sitting in judgment of others. It's about having the opportunity to sit back and say, this is working in my life, that's not working. So next time something like this comes up, instead of being reactive, I'm going to be proactive. Instead of jumping to conclusions, I'm going to allow the other person to express themselves. Whatever the case may be in your personal case or your personal scenario here, Cancer, this card is about you exploring your most recent past, possibly relationship, your most recent job, whatever the case may be, and saying this way of reacting to a certain situation really, really worked for me. It brought about the best in the people around me. This way of acting or reacting really brought out the worst in people. So I need to really internalize that soul lesson. Overall, good place to be. It does look like you're leveling up, like you are leaving something behind. And this is going to allow you to really accelerate and move forward in your life. Let's take a look at what you are focusing on now. The fairies have been doing the same thing that the Osho Zen just did, and they've been being a little naughty and kicking out way too many cards. Let's see if they're going to carry it. Now that I've said something, they won't do that. All right, what are the cancers focusing on? This is okay. Mhm. And that one's down on the floor too. Yeah, and here comes all the cards. Okay, so we do have 5 cards that have kicked out here. The first card that came out is the Four of Autumn. This card corresponds to the Four of Pentacles. I'll just keep talking here. The Four of Pentacles is a card of balance your budget. It's a card of focusing on finances for the purposes of bettering your financial circumstances. You have the Eight of Swords, Four of Spring. That's a good card. Seven of Spring. Seven of Springs. Okay. You have 2 4s. You also have an 8, which is divisible by 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. Um, you're going to want to watch for the 14th of April, the 24th of April. Watch for 4s coming up. So, Four of Autumn, also known as the Four of Pentacles. This is a card of make sure that your budget is balanced. Disclaimer, I am not a certified financial advisor. I am not allowed to give you formal financial advice. What I can do is give you good common sense advice with regards to your money. Balance your budget. Don't be spending more than what you have coming in. Common sense. The other meaning behind this card is it's a card that I call the coveting card. This is a card that indicates we might be looking over the fence, thinking that the grass is greener on the other side. We might be craving what someone else has. When we do that, we diminish our own energies. Cancer, this is not okay. Okay. One of the key caveats or one of the key lessons to seeing beyond the illusion is recognizing that we need to be our true selves. We need to be who we are through and through, not looking at, oh, look at that person and oh, look at their big house. I want what they have. When you do that, you say to the universe, I'm in a place of lack. I don't have what they have. And the universe says, okay, here's more lack. That puts us in a position where it makes it difficult to be able to balance our budget. So if this is what you're focusing on, looking over the fence, craving what someone else has, keep that lesson in mind that when you do that, you diminish your own abilities. You have the Seven of Wands here, also known as the Seven of Spring, also known as the Seven of Wands. This is a card of be assertive in whatever it is that you're doing, whatever it is that you are going after. You have the Four of Spring. This is the card of gratitude, recognizing and acknowledging what you have in your life. Now, the Four of Spring and the Four of Autumn work really well together because when we come into our own power with the Four of Spring and we're grateful for everything that we have in our lives, the Four of Autumn falls in line and we typically balance our budget because the universe is saying, oh, they're absolutely grateful for exactly what they have. Let's give them some more. You have the Eight of Winter, also known as the Eight of Swords, in what you are focusing on. This is the card of accountability. This is a card that some people don't like to see come up. The reason they don't like to see this card come up is because it forces them to take a look at their own life circumstances and realize that they are where they are because of decisions that they've made. And Cancer, I can hear people saying to me right now, well, what do you mean? Just because I'm living in this crappy one-bedroom apartment, it's because I can't afford anymore. Okay, why can't you afford anymore? Can you go out and get a different, better paying job? More money, less hours? Probably. People will say, no, I'm stuck. I can't change. This card asks you to sit in judgment of yourself and say, can you change? Yes, you can. The question is, do you want to change? Given that this card came up in what you are focusing on, Cancer, this card is saying you want to change. You want to be accountable. You want to recognize and acknowledge that you are where you are because of the decisions and choices that you made. And that when you make different decisions and choices, take, for example, okay, this one's controversial. I'm going to get hate mail over this one. Take, for example, somebody who says, oh my gosh, I can't balance my budget. I never have enough money at the end of the month. By the time I pay my rent and my food, I never have enough money. And they're waving their hand around and they have a $60 manicure going on their hand. And then they disclose to you that they also went out and had an $80 facial and they do that twice a month. And then they complain that they don't have enough money at the end of the month. Accountability. Can you make different choices for your money? Yes, you can. It is about need versus want. You need food on the table. You need a roof over your head. If you live in the northern hemisphere in the winter, you need heat. Do you need long, fancy fingernails and a facial? No, you do not need it. You want that. Okay? That's what this card asks you to do, along with the Judgment card, seeing beyond the illusion. If you are comparing your life to someone else's and trying to keep up with the Joneses, you are keeping yourself stuck. This is a tough, tough reading to do because I know that there's people right now going, I'm not listening to her. I'm turning it off. She's way too negative. No, this isn't about negativity, Cancer. Not at all. This is about accountability. This is about making positive changes in our lives. This is about being grateful for what we have so that we can manifest more. This is about being assertive in our lives and making changes. This is about decisions. You have the Chariot in what you are focusing on. This is about the decisions that you make every day that directly affect your position in life right now, directly related to finances. And once you make decisions that are good and strong and healthy for you, take action on them. Be assertive. Okay. Normally at this point, I would pull cards for you that would be your difficult influences and challenges. Given that what came up in what you are focusing on and where you're at now, you have enough difficult influences and challenges at this time, Cancer. So, what I am going to do is I'm going to pull cards for inspiration for you at this time. Inspiration and encouragement for Cancer at this time. Cards for inspiration and encouragement for Cancer. All right, so inspiration and encouragement for Cancer. We have the Ace of Swords, we have the Fool, and we have the King of Wands. Very, very powerful cards, very powerful inspirational cards. Both the Ace of Swords and the Fool indicate a new beginning on the horizon for you. And that was also indicated by this number 20 card coming out, the Judgment card coming out, indicating you are closing off a cycle or a phase of your life at this time. You are absolutely stepping up and stepping into accountability and recognizing that you have the ability to make changes. And when you do that, you have the opportunity to step out and step into something brand new. The Fool is the 0 card in the major arcana of the tarot, and the Fool is all about a brand new beginning, stepping out into something new, stepping into a new phase of our lives. The Fool oftentimes is a little bit naive, perhaps a little bit impulsive, but at the same time, they are about to head out on a new journey or adventure in their lives. Ace of Swords. Again, the Ace of Swords is about new beginnings. And it's beautiful that you have the Ace of Swords right next to the Fool, because the Fool sometimes, as I mentioned, can be naive and impulsive. The Ace of Swords tempers that new beginning by being the intellectual ace. This is the card that is ruled by the realm of the mental, the mind, not the heart, which tempers the Fool a little bit and causes them to say, okay, I'm standing on this precipice. Is leaning out over the edge a good idea? No, probably not. Let's go back and let's you know, find a different route. We're still going to go on the Fool's journey. We're still going to go on this adventure, but we're going to do it differently than the last time we did it. And then you have the King of Wands here. And the King of Wands is the King of Fire, ruled by the element of fire. He is about action. So, inspiration for Cancer right now, as you take full accountability for where you are in your life, as you make different choices and decisions, and you begin to be assertive and take action on these ideas and decisions, it's going to set you off on a new course or a new path or new journey, Cancer. For some of you, it will indicate a change in relationships, plural, not just a single relationship, although for some of you, it may just be a single relationship. But as you grow and you become more accountable and you recognize certain aspects of yourself where you were not being true to yourself, and you begin to change and you become more empowered, there are going to be people who are going to object to the new you. But rest assured that your new people who will support you on this journey will absolutely come in, and they'll come in and arrive very quickly in order to continue to support you and assist you on this new journey. All right, messages from the universe. And we have two cards on the floor. All right. Messages from the universe. Feel joy in all that you do. Two more cards. Appreciate your talents. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's part of the accountability as well. And it's part of the Four of Autumn over here, the Eight of Winter and the Four of Autumn, these two cards over here. Appreciating your talents, Cancer, and recognizing you don't have to look over the fence and crave and yearn and covet what someone else has when you recognize and appreciate your own talents. And finally, trust your intuition. You do have a decision to make with this Chariot in your focus. And so trust your intuition as you're moving forward through this. Okay, let's move into unexpected. Like you need something else that's unexpected, right? Unexpected for Cancer. Ooh, unexpected. We have the Devil coming in and we have the Seven of Wands. Oh, yes. All right. So just before I pulled these two cards, one of the last things that I said to you was as you awaken to your own accountability, as you change and shift, as you step out onto a new beginning with this Fool's Journey and the Ace of Swords here in your inspiration, there are going to be people who do not support you in the changes that you're making. Your friends and family are going to potentially challenge the new you. They're going to make you question everything. And the two cards in the unexpected are actually not that unexpected because they speak specifically to this. And these two cards together reinforce each other. You have the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands is about feeling like your ideas about you being challenged. The ideas and concepts that you are putting out into the world are being challenged by others. And you have the Devil coming in. The Devil is about temptation and ego. In other words, as you come into your own power, Cancer, you head out on your fool's journey. You begin to be fully accountable. You balance your budget and you start to really embrace who you are and put that out. You take the mask off and you become more authentic. People are going to challenge you, and there will be the temptation to return to the past. There'll be the temptation to go into ego. The reason that we do tarot and consult with psychics is so that we have the heads up of what energies are being thrown at us so that we can prepare ourselves mentally, psychologically, and emotionally for what's coming at us. What's coming at you is huge change, a huge shift into accountability and authenticity. And when that happens, certain people are going to go, oh my God, look at Cancer. They've changed so much. How dare they? How dare they all of a sudden think that they're better than us? Well, it's not that you're thinking that you're better than someone else. You're just being more authentic. You're being accountable. And that bristles people. That makes their shadows tingle and they don't like it. So they will challenge you and they'll tempt you to go back to being the other person that you used to be. And I can tell you from many, many years of doing this work, once you open that door, you can't go back. Final general overall outcome for Cancer, and then we're going to pull your yes, no cards. Final general overall outcome for Cancer. Not surprised to see that card. Let's make sure that one doesn't fall off the table. All right. Final general overall outcome, you have the Tower. The Tower is sudden and unexpected change. We already knew that was coming. You have the Page of Cups. Page of Cups is, again, this young, naive guy going to come in, sweep you off your feet. Could be guy, could be girl. But this card is a card indicating watch for something coming up that's too good to be true. When we're feeling vulnerable because there's a sudden and unexpected change in our lives, we are easily swept off our feet. Don't allow that to happen. You have the Knight of Wands here. The Knight of Wands is ambitious. And again, he is about some unpredictability along with the Tower. And then you have the Hierophant. The Hierophant is the same outcome that you had at the beginning of April. Again, the Hierophant is about a deep dive within, looking at the institutions and our belief systems, what serves us, what's no longer serving us. And when you do the Hierophant work, the Devil and the Seven of Wands appear almost consistently. So, not surprising. But all of this, Cancer, is about huge spiritual growth for you, huge insights that you're having right now, that things are not what you once thought they were. You are now seeing beyond the illusion. All right. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here and watching all the way to the end. And if this video resonated, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. And as always, if you would like to dive deeper into a personal reading, my contact details are down below. So, last card of the day is the yes, no. So bring to mind your yes, no question. Ask the question several times in your mind, and I'm just going to shuffle until we have one card jump out. One card for, there we go. Cancer, in response to your yes, no question, your answer is you are going in the right direction. Thank you so much, Cancer. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you, and I look forward to having the opportunity to do your next reading at the beginning of May.